My name's Mo. I'm part of the training team, and I'd like to welcome you to our masterclass today, which is an introduction to digital reception. I understand it's a very hot day. Almost certainly all of you will be very busy, so thanks for taking the time out to attend today's session. We'll probably go about 20 to 25 minutes or so, and we're going to cover some of the basics of digital reception and, like I say, a bit of an introduction to the software. So first of all, our company mission is making operating your care home easier, more efficient, and more profitable. And digital reception today will definitely focus on the first two of those, and possibly the third point as well. So hopefully it's going to tick a lot of boxes for you. Before we get started, if this is the first time that you've attended one of our sessions, we encourage questions. We like to make them as interactive as possible. At the bottom of your screen, you should have a Q&A function. And I've got my colleague, Sam Reynolds from the training team. He'll be answering those questions on the Q&A. If you can avoid using the chat, because sometimes we might miss important questions that you might have through the chat. But Q&A, we should make sure we're answering most of those. And we're going to try our best to answer all questions as well. So first of all, today's agenda. It might be the first time some of you have seen digital reception or come across it. So it's going to cover some of the basics today. We're not going to delve into the product or the software in massive detail, but we're going to show some of the benefits and some of the benefits it can bring to your business. So we're going to start off with an overview, and we're going to look at the software from two different viewpoints, really. We're going to look at it from the visitor or the guest viewpoint, and then we're going to look at it from your side of the software. What do you see? What does your care home see? And what would your admins see as well? We're going to hopefully have time for a brief demo as well, where we'll go into the software. I'm going to show you some of the, like I say, some of the benefits it can bring and some of the highlights from digital reception as well. So what is digital reception? I think when you're looking at it, it's useful to take a look at it from 2 points of view. You've got your customer view that you can see on the left-hand side there. A lot of customers will set it up on a tablet in the main reception area, in the main entrance. And this allows any guests that enter your home to sign in and out, so you know who's in your home and why they're there. You can set up multiple devices across multiple entrances. So if you have a staff-only entrance and you want staff to be using digital reception, you can set up a device at that side as well. The other side of the software is going to be your side of the software, the care home side of the software. I'm going to call it maybe lots of different names today: care home, admin side of the software, the office side of the software. But you can see on the right-hand side, the guy at the laptop, it allows you to collect a lot of data. It's very different to what your guests are going to see as well. Using digital reception, you're able to set up different user types, different profiles. You can customize the system to kind of fit your business and your needs. And you're able to run lots of surveys, set up questionnaires. And the good thing about the data, I think, is that it's very visual. As you can see there's lots of charts and graphs. So for people who like charts and graphs, hopefully they're going to like this software as well. So let's take a look at these two parts of the software in a little bit more detail. So guys, the visitor side, first of all, once again, you've got a bit of a screen grab there to give you an idea of what it looks like. At its core, it's a digital sign-in book. Basically, it allows any type of guest, visitor, resident, potential resident, contractor, staff to be able to sign into your home at any time. And the good thing about it is that it's pretty flexible. It can be used on any tablet device. So you don't need to spend a lot of money on an expensive iPad or an expensive tablet. As long as your tablet connects to the internet, you should be absolutely fine as well. You can say goodbye to your old sign-in book. So for those that use a physical sign-in book for visitors, it will be a replacement for that. It's a great option if you're looking to go paperless. So no more sheets, no more pages and pages of visitor information. It's going to be much more secure for your business. Hopefully, it will make it easier for you to gather information and be able to kind of analyze that information as well. And because it's paperless, it's going to be better for the environment as well, which is always good during these times. Visitors can also use touchless signing as well. So you can see the picture on the right there. It's got a couple of QR codes. Being a tablet, most people are happy to just kind of tap the screen and sign in that way. But you do have the QR code option. So if someone has a mobile phone, they can just scan the QR code and swipe in or log in that way. This is helpful if you want to stop the spread of any infections and bugs, things like that as well. Finally, it's hopefully going to make a great first impression for visitors, especially visitors who are coming into your home for the first time. It's going to make your home and business look very professional and very sleek looking as well, which is always good. So that's from the visitor side. And like I say, we'll log into the software in a minute so you can get some hands-on experience with it. But you've also got the second side, which is your side of the software as well. And this is going to be very, very different. A couple of things I just want to discuss about it. First of all, digital means you can access it anywhere. It's a cloud system. You're going to have a web page. You're going to have your own unique URL and unique login, which means you can access it anywhere, including your mobile phone as well. It's GDPR compliant by design. I mentioned earlier that it will replace your old paper sign-in book. The downside with paper sign-in books is that they can get lost or stolen, and it's easy for guests to see other visitors' information as well. So if I'm signing into a business, I can see everyone who's signed in before me, and sometimes that includes important information like emails or phone numbers. And ideally, that kind of data should be hidden from public view. So digital reception will do that for you. You can create an inviting and welcoming experience for your customers, but also maintain security and safety processes as well. A good thing about it is that you know who's in your home and the reason they're there as well. Are they guests? Are they contractors? Are they potential residents? So you know who is in your home at all times. This information also links back to the fire log in case of any emergencies as well. Now, to be honest, in regards to the staffing side or the care home side of the software, that's only one little part of it, the sign-in process. But there's so much more information you're able to gather. And I think that's where the real power of the system is going to come in, really. So I'm going to talk a lot about feedback today. It allows you to collect feedback. It also allows you to create different visitor profiles as well. So basically, and you'll see this in a second, you can create different types of visitor profile. For example, you might create a profile for first-time visitor, or you can create a profile for residents or members of staff. But then what you can do is you can create a unique experience for that type of profile. Basically, you can customize any welcome messages, but you can also customize any feedback that you ask or questions that you asked certain guests as well. So if you were to create a profile for visitors and you were to create a questionnaire or survey for that visitor, you might ask them questions about, were staff considerate? Were staff helpful? Were you welcomed when you entered our home? If you create a profile for residents, you can ask them about different things. So you'll be able to ask them about the menu. Would they like to see any menus change over the next week or so? Would they like to see any activities brought into the home as well? If you've got a profile for staff, you might be doing a staff satisfaction survey as well. So what you ask staff will be very different to what you ask visitors, but you can customize it to you and your business's needs as well. Now that you've got that data, and like I said, there's a lot of data you can pull from it, what can you do with it? Well, you'll be able to act on it. So any positive feedback, you'll be able to act on accordingly. Any negative feedback, it allows you to investigate certain reasons why you may have that feedback as well. The picture on the right, you can see lots of graphs, lots of charts as well. So it's very visual. But the good thing about this is that you can break down the data into group level, into home level, and a lot of those charts are clickable. So by clicking on certain information, you're able to zoom in a little bit more and really hone in into specific feedback that you have as well. So those that like data, there's going to be a lot of it on here. I mentioned already, you can set up multiple devices in each home as well. So you've got lots of different entrances. In theory, you can have a device at every single one. Hopefully, I think most people here will use CoolCare. So digital reception also integrates with CoolCare. You can also use it with PCS, so it can automatically update your PCS care record with any visitor information as well. A couple of other things is that you can also receive email notifications. So when certain visitors sign in, so for example, if I'm a manager and I want to know when the contractors are on site, as soon as they sign in, I can get an email letting me know that they're there and I can go see them as well. Finally, if you use Autumna, if you have access to the Autumna Premium service, it can also send any ratings from digital reception straight to Autumna as well. So this allows your home to be seen by far more prospective clients. Autumna is going to be the UK's largest directory of care homes. So if I'm looking to put a loved one into care, that's a site I might be able to use. And it would be great to see your home on there with all the positive feedback as well. So guys, I realize I've done a lot of talking there. I'm just going to bring up one more slide, and then I promise we're going to go into the actual site itself. And I just wanted to talk about the feedback and how you can make, how important feedback is really, and how you can make digital reception work for you. So the quote on screen, we've actually taken it from the CQC website. And it says, we encourage people who use services and organizations who represent them or act on their behalf to share their experiences at any time. They're asking for feedback there. They want to know what your staff are thinking, what your residents, what your guests think about your business. And when you'll see in a second, when we log into the software, lots of questions are based around this type of framework as well. So you'll see lots of questions along the lines of, are your, is your relative being cared for? Or are staff responsive to their needs? Is the home well led? So it's just something worth thinking about, I think, about how best you can get digital reception working for you and how you can make your life easier and save you time as well. So that's something I just wanted to flag up that, like I say, CQC are very interested in, and it's kind of what digital reception does really. So thank you for listening. What we're going to do now is a lot of me talking there. I'm going to actually bring up our website. So if you bear with me for 1 second, and I'm hoping you should all be able to see on my other screen. So I'm going to be slightly looking to the side, but you should be able to see digital reception now. But this is what your guests are going to see on the website. This is the visitor side of the software. So you can imagine someone coming into your home or business, the tablets in the reception area, they open it up and this is what they'll see. It's completely customizable. So you can have a different picture in the background, a picture of your home. This has quite a few visitor profiles on there, as you can see. You can have as many as you like. If it's not an entrance staff and contractors are likely to use, you can remove those from here. You can also remove the QR codes if you wanted to as well. I'm going to go in as a visitor, first of all, and you'll see it's a really easy step-by-step process. I just click arriving. I'm going to pop in my first name and last name. So one thing I mentioned is that you can see these fields are required. That's entirely up to you. You can set it so emails and mobile phones are also required fields, but at the moment they're not. So I'm not going to add those as well. And for the purpose of today's session, I want to keep things moving forward for you. So if I click submit, once again, you get some more questions or more information you can fill in. Because they're not required, I'm not going to fill those in this. And then you get to just tell the system who you're visiting. So I'm just going to visit John Smith. And I'll click that box. Now this is option again. Once again, it's completely up to you if you want this option here. But if I'm a member of staff and I'm using the software, there might be an important meeting happening in the boardroom. You could add a message just reminding me to go into the boardroom for 9 o'clock so I don't miss that meeting. And I can tick the box to confirm that I've read and understood that message as well. And it's as simple as that, really. I'm now logged into the home. Digital reception recognizes me as being in your business. I'm going to quickly going to log out as the same person. So I'm just going to go back to visitors. I'm going to be saying I'm leaving the home. Be same person. Open. Now this is where it kind of comes into its own. You can see as you're leaving, that's when you get your survey. That's when you get your questionnaire. And you can tailor this to suit any profile or any people across your business as well. So what you see here will be very different to what you may ask your staff as well. You can have a star system. 5 stars is my personal favorite, but you can set up yes and no answers. You can set up smiley faces as well. You can also have free text options so people can give a bit more information regarding the feedback as well. This page is completely customizable. And once again, that's a word I've used a lot today as well. A couple of things I want to bring to your attention is that you notice some of the questions about the home being well led. Is the care home caring towards people? It kind of links back to that framework that we mentioned earlier as well. So it's again using digital reception to work best for you and having the questions that you want those answers to as well. So I'm just going to say, yep, it's fantastic. I'm going to leave a glowing review for this home. Very happy with the experience. How this feedback also feeds into your side of the site, you'll see in a second. But if someone was to leave 3 stars or less, it would create something, it would create an action on your side of the website. So any less than glowing feedback or any mid feedback or negative feedback, it flags that up to you as an action. And then you're able to act accordingly on that action, which might mean emailing, contacting that person, investigating a little bit further into why that feedback was left as well. So you'll see the actions in a second. But for now, I'm very happy with my day. It was a great experience. And I'm going to submit that. And thank you. Visit again soon as well. And for your guests, for your visitors, it's as simple as that, really. But if I go to my other tab, which I'm hoping is going to be your side of the site. So this is, like I say, the care home side, the administrator side. This is what you'll see once you've had your account set up for you as well. There's lots of options along the top there. I'm not going to go into most of these today, but I might go into a couple for you. What we can also see is the group name, and I can also see the 2 homes in our group. So we've got Cedar Court, Oak House, and I can see the number of devices in each home. I'm looking at the information at a group level now, but I can see any weekly feedback. So I can see positive, neutral, or negative feedback, and I can see any outstanding actions. So remember that feedback, depending on how 3 stars or less, you can change that again. So you might be a perfectionist, you might want 4 stars or less, but any feedback will generate an action for us as well. So we'll talk about the actions in a second. I'm going to actually delve a little bit deeper. So rather than group level, I'm going to go into Oak House, and I'm going to break it down into home level information. And I like this page. There's a lot of information on here. I like the daily arrivals chart. This allows us to see how busy is our home, what are our busiest times, and who's coming into the home as well. There's a lot of colors on here, a lot of graphs. Each represents a different profile or visitor type. I might only be interested in visitors. So there's a lot on here. I just want to make it clearer for me to read at this time. So what I can do is actually customize it to suit what I want to see. So I'm just removing every other profile type, and I can see visitors only, and I can see the busiest day in my business was Sunday with 23 visitors. The quietest time was Thursday with only 10 visitors joining as well, or signing in. I mentioned earlier as well, you can see who's in your home at all times. So this is people on site. So I can see straight away, I've got a couple of residents, contractors, and also visitors again. And you can customize this in pretty much the same way by viewing the information that's relevant for you. If I click into visitors, you'll notice it links to the file log, and I can see the visitor name and when they arrived. So you can see I was playing around with the system today, and a lot of people arrived pretty much the same time as well. Where it comes to required fields, it might be useful to make phone number a required field, because then that would show, and if I needed to get hold of that person, I'll be able to contact them via this page here as well. If anyone forgets to sign out, I can also sign them out at any time manually as well. So if I close that down, and I'm just going to take a look at the feedback now. So this is the feedback for our home, and we've got positive, neutral, and negative in there. If I click into positive, now this is our demo site, so I take some of this data with a pinch of salt, but it allows us to see all our visitor types, the person, the type of visitor, or the type of profile that they are, really. So this is a visitor. We can see we've also got feedback from staff, from industry professionals as well. So the type would be the type of profile that you've set up. Curtis is someone we used earlier, and I click into there, I can see Curtis's feedback as well. So all very positive, no actions required from positive feedback. But this is a review. I might like to contact Curtis. I might like him to leave a review on our website, or a testimonial, or a success story, something along those lines as well. So it's not all about the negative feedback. You can use this data with the positive as well. But I am interested in negative for now. So if I go into negative, I can see I've got 24 negative feedbacks. If I click in here, the one I'm interested in, I've done a Blue Peter, and I created some feedback earlier on. So this is some I created earlier for Nick. And if I click onto Nick's name, so you can even click into the box, or you can click on show feedback. You can see it's a less than glowing review, lots of 2 stars. He was unhappy. He left a comment about staff being disinterested and rude, and he felt very unwelcome. I'd want to do something about this feedback. I want to contact this person to just investigate further. Why did they feel this way? Was there something that happened as well? So if I go back, and I remember Nick, I can see my outstanding actions. Because that feedback wasn't great, it's going to create an action for me as well. So if I go into open, and each one of these represents a different status of an action. Ideally, over time, you want to get them through these different phases and into completed as well. But if I click open for now, And I'm hoping Nick's name is going to show up in a second. But I can customize this. There's lots of customizable options at the top. So I'm going to go to person type. And he was a visitor. So I'm hoping Nick's name shows up here, which it does. So these are just visitors. I'm discounting feedback from residents and staff for now. I'm not interested in that at this moment. But if I go to visitors, I can see Nick. And if I click into Nick's name, I get his information, when he was here, the date as well, the date of problem, when he arrived, when he left, but I can also see that feedback again. And now I've got action type as well. So what am I going to do about this action? Now I'm going to actually give Nick a phone call because I think it's, this is more urgent than an email. It's something that has to be dealt with pretty much straight away because that's not great feedback. It says a summary of the action's outcomes. So I'd say it all might be resolved in one call. In this case, I'm just going to type customer. So you're going to get the customer to come in. We're going to have a discussion and to see if anything here can be resolved as well. With the status, I can't, if I click on the status option, I can't complete it because I can't complete it until I've spoken to the customer one-to-one. But what I can do is I can move it into started as well. So I've started the ball rolling, and then once I've had the conversation, hopefully I'll be able to complete it. You've got a wait and sign off as well, which is a handy option. If any actions need to be signed off by a member of SLT, you can move it there, and then SLT will be able to complete it if that's suitable as well. So what CQC are interested in, they want to hear the feedback, that's great, but what do you do about the feedback as well? If it's negative, do you go out to resolve those problems? Do you go out to speak to the customer as well? So it's, like I say, it's important data and it's available in this place, in this one location. So if I click save, and what hopefully should do is Nick's, there we go. So it's just moving, if I click into that again, actually, did that save? Sorry, I did not save that. I'm going to move it to started. Click save, and hopefully Nick disappears from this because these are just open actions. And if I was to go into started, I'm hoping Nick's name appears here as well. So I can update this once I've spoken to Nick and find out what the problem actually was. If I just go back to our home for a second, if I go back to the care home itself, just a couple of other things. You get to see who's in or how many devices are in the home at any time, which ones are online. You get to see also the types of profile that you have. In regards to setting things up, we're not going to go through setting things up today, but it's really easy. You have your configuration option at the top. And that's where you can set up your devices, your profiles. You can create your feedback forms for your profiles as well. So in regards to setting things up, it's almost like it's following the steps that you see on the screen. And it's really easy to set up the forms for how you want to set them up for, really. Finally, I'm just going to go into analysis. And if I click into analysis, once again, it's just breaking that data down even further for you as well. So I can see the type of profile feedback that I can see. So I can see visitors, staff feedback, resident feedback, and it's breaking it each down into different visitor profiles. I can also look at feedback by location. I can see when was the most popular time that people were signing in and using the device as well. So I can see the early evenings is probably our quietest time at Oak House. Once again, I can see the outstanding actions by location as well. So I think it's all about the feedback about the actions and what you do with that feedback. Hopefully most people like graphs and charts. I've mentioned it's very visual a couple of times. For those that like CSV, you can also export the data as well. So you can export feedback, you can export any people, any outstanding actions as well. So for people that like visual data, hopefully you'll like this, but you've also got that CSV option as well. So guys, that was a really, like I say, just a brief overview today. That was a quick run through of digital reception as well. So there, I'm just gonna. What I would say, if you have any, hopefully you can see my screen again, but if you have any further questions on digital reception or would like to go through the system in a little bit more detail, would like a demo, we recommend contacting your customer success team. So you'll have either Keely or Helen as your customer success managers even. If you're not sure who your customer success manager is, please contact customer success at coolcare4.co.uk and they'll be able to give you some more information in regards to pricing, in regards to demos and digital reception as well. We've got a couple of videos that we can send out as well. Training wise, if you'd like to purchase any training, or to be honest, a lot of homes have training. Every single customer will get at least 1 hour's free training every year. So someone might have already taken that in your business, but if not, if you're not sure, do contact us at training@coolcare4.co.uk to see if you have any training available or if you'd like to purchase any more at any time as well. But a lot of customers have it, but maybe aren't aware that they have that training as well. So it's definitely worth emailing about that. So guys, finally, I'd like to thank you all for attending today. Hopefully you've indulged me. It's a lot of talking. Hopefully you've enjoyed the system and it's given you a few ideas how you could use it and how it could benefit you, your business and your teams as well. We'll send out a recording of today's session. It'll probably be tomorrow at some point. We'll also upload it to our YouTube channel. So it'll be under on our YouTube page. We've got another webinar or another masterclass coming up in about 2 weeks' time. It's a quick turnaround because of holidays as well, but that will be back with Derek, and Derek will be going through the rota and managing your rota during that session. So that'll be in about 2 weeks' time. So keep your eye open for a registration link if you'd like to attend that session as well. Myself and Sam will keep the meeting room open for another couple of minutes after today if you have any other questions as well. But guys, I'd like to thank you for attending today. Like I say, it's a really hot day, so we appreciate that you spent the time with us today. And hopefully we'll see you in another couple of weeks for our Rota Masterclass. But thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.